So, just like to express the importance of the time that we're in and everything that's being revealed to the earth. We're in a place spiritually where we're undergoing a transformation and a growth unlike any civilization that's ever been upon this planet. Although we look at a lot of ancient scrolls and wall art inside of caves and monolithic structures, and we feel like they've surpassed us in a lot of ways, but I feel like they were a catalyst, a recording, a possibility of a future that could one day be, or a foretelling of a future that would one day be, based on visions or even visitations from advanced beings, but not necessarily the reality that they were living at the time. I feel that we're going through a transition, man, because of all of the turmoil, the pain, the strife that we're going through. It has to be growing pains. A lot of times, whenever you undergo pressure or you undergo discomfort, it precipitates evolution, it precipitates change, it precipitates the need to survive by becoming better, becoming stronger, becoming faster. And that's the time that we're in. We're in a position as a species on the planet where we can either propel ourselves into the cosmos or destroy our planet. We have the technology to do so. So I think that the entities, the beings, the people, whatever you want to call them, they're people. I mean, they're living, intelligent beings that live in our same universe. They're people. The people who are a part of this larger body of beings that live in our universe that know about the grand scheme of things, or at least a bigger scope than what we know about. They want to see us do better, and they want to see us become a part of what they have going on, but we weren't able to be a part of that because we, through our free will and our intellect at that current time, were not anywhere near comprehending the sciences that they had, the spirituality that they had. We worship them like gods. And I feel like we're getting to a point now to where men, and this might sound crazy, how we're calling ourselves gods, a lot of people, in a way, that's a shedding of a previous paradigm where we were giving our power away to other beings and denouncing our ability to do for ourselves as a species and a planet. And I think now that we're putting ourselves in godhood, not saying that we are actual, authorities over the universe, because we don't have that level of creative power over the grand or prime creator in the universe, but that we are saying that we're gods of ourselves. We're ready for self-governance and self-sustainability. Then we're at that point saying, okay, we're ready to cross that threshold and take a part of what you guys have going on in the universe. And that's where we're at right now. We're able to comprehend self-governance, and we're able to comprehend, okay, you are an advanced being, but that doesn't mean that you automatically are superior to us or are going to rule over us as a god. And I think modern man wouldn't just bow down to these people or these entities if they were to arrive on this planet now, and we wouldn't bow to them as gods. Some humans would see it as a threat and they would fight, but some people would say, okay, you're our peers in the universe. What do you have to share with us? What can you do to help benefit our planet and help us as a civilization on the planet at this current time? So that's where we're at. And it's a beautiful time. I mean, I know it's a lot of ugly in the world, but that's to be expected because of the dualistic nature of the reality we live in. With the higher levels of consciousness and the higher levels of intellect and spirituality, you're going to see lower levels of consciousness, lower levels of intellect, and lower levels of spirituality where people are doing all kind of wickedness at the same time as a form of balance. So I think that kind of goes into the cause. That's the cause of a lot of the degradation that we're seeing because of the mass awakening that's going on at the same time. You got people who would otherwise not care anything about consciousness or resonance and vibrating on certain frequencies or opening third eyes or learning how to utilize the body's energy and the universe energy and the chakras and ancient spiritual principles and practices and traditions, but that's becoming a part of popular culture. That's becoming a part of everyday life for people who would otherwise not care about it at all. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you see people who are from areas where practicing some type of demonic, witchcraft or warlock practices would be like, who does that? But they're doing it because that's the world that we're creating now. We're moving into a more spiritually awakened world. So the light's gonna be even brighter spiritually, and the dark's gonna be even darker spiritually. And these are signs of the time that we're in. We're going through a transformation, and we all, I feel, should take it upon ourselves just to explore and to seek personal growth and development and take advantage of the times that we're in. We could easily be swayed by a lot of the external influences that we have going on in the world, or we could be innovators. We could take that godhood, so to speak, into our own hands and seek out the universe, the reality, the world that we want to build as individuals. We all get too caught up in control of others rather than self-control. I feel that once we attain true and ultimate self-control, then we will attain true and ultimate godhood. Once we can not be influenced by external forces, that means that you're the ultimate authority in your own life and the ultimate authority within the world that you live in and your environment and your reality. But we're too affected by external influences, and then we try to project the control that's been placed on us. We try to project that and those ideologies on other people, and we relinquish our power, and we try to force people into relinquishing their power, when we can allow people to be powerful as individuals while we seek our own power and we seek our own wisdom and we seek our own betterment and upliftment and stop the control. That's where we are going wrong as human beings, or just as a species, is we're too into ego. We identify as self, and then we have to project self on other things so that we can have a stronger identification of self. But that's a false practice. That's an erroneous practice. That's not necessarily the most efficient way of understanding the self, because to understand the self, you have to go inward, not necessarily outward in this world. I mean, everything out here in the world is just a reflection of what's inside of us. So going out to seek what's already within and a byproduct of your internal condition is like a waste of time, when you need to understand the internal condition and the factors that create, or the factors that you're composed of within, if that makes any sense. So that's one thing we should be aiming to do in this time, is understand ourselves more. Really take the time to listen to the higher self, be guided by the higher self, to let go of some of the external controls and the need to control others, and allow yourself to be that guide. And you don't have to do what I'm telling you. I'm just explaining what I'm feeling and explaining the things that have come to my mind and the things that have come to my consciousness and my being. It's layers to this that we're having to try to peel back to understand who the I really am. Who's that consciousness speaking to the me, the I. You know what I'm saying? It's the I speak of myself all the time, but who is I? That self that's afar, who feels like they have complete awareness of what's supposed to occur, but when we do erroneous things or wrong things, we get communicated to me from the I. We need to have a better understanding and a better line of communication with the I to the me, or the self, so that we can, propel our conscious evolution and be able to self-govern ourselves even more, and not govern other people or allow other people or other entities, other beings to govern us or control our fate. And I believe this is true godhood, and that it would allow us to have dominion over our faculties 100% and our abilities to manifest within this reality on an individual basis. All right. So, and don't look at me like I'm some grand, you know what I'm saying, architect of the universe telling you some secrets. Look, I'm just a regular cat, man. Like these are concepts that are brought to me through various things that I've studied, different speakers I've listened to on the internet and in real life. And this is like a culmination of those ideologies and those thoughts. Once I put them down and allowed it to, well, I ain't gonna say put it down. Once I allowed it to be digested, and then I stepped back and I asked myself, what does this all mean? All this information that these people have presented. And then I started reconstructing it in a way that made sense to the I, that made sense to the me, and that we were able to meet and agree on this. You understand? I don't know if this is a new thing or an old thing, but this is something new for myself, and I just felt the need to share this. I feel that we'd be in a much better place if we can, again, just stop trying to control each other and stop trying to put our ego in the forefront and just go within, control ourselves, allow ourselves to grow, allow yourself to be wrong so that you can discover knowledge, allow yourself to be in error so that you can discover correctness. You know, always trying to be the biggest, baddest, brightest thing is not necessarily the most beneficial. You know, if you know everything, then you're out of lessons to learn, and you have no reason to really exist in this universe, because to exist is constant motion. Energy is movement, and to acquire new information in a conscious sense is almost like movement. It's energy, it's interaction with our reality, and that's what we should realize. So that said, I just want to conclude the video. You know, I didn't have a specific direction I was going in, and I just wanted to kind of just free flow off the top of my head some thoughts that I had and some ideas and concepts that maybe we could build on. And I want to thank y'all for checking me out. Okay, again, I want to put in a shameless plug. I have a company called Behira Soul. That's on Instagram at Behira Soul, BEHIRASOUL. I'll put a link or some type of reference in the description. We make wire wrap jewelry. I believe in the crystal energy and working with different energies and working with different crystals for healing and different minerals and different stones. We try to make it in a way that's fashionable, something that's modern, something that you know, most people wouldn't have a problem just wearing out, even out to the club on a weekend. We do little smaller ones on just necklaces, and you know, I feel it's time to start sharing, you know, start putting some of this information out here that I've been welling up over an amount of time. So y'all take care. I just, you know, I wish peace and prosperity to everybody. I hope everybody can come to a new level of understanding, of understanding of oneself and your divine nature within the universe, your brother's divine nature, your sister's divine nature, your neighbor's divine nature, even the divine nature of your pets and the trees and the sky and every moment that you live. Understand it. You know, we got to get past all the preconceived notions and understand that this darkness is going to coincide with the light, and it's a choice that we have to make if we want to move forward. So